Most people believe diabetes happens suddenly. One day your blood sugar is normal. The next day, boom, you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. But that's not how it really works. In reality, diabetes doesn't strike out of nowhere. Long before that official diagnosis, your body has been sending quiet, subtle warnings for years, sometimes even a decade or more. These aren't dramatic pains or emergency room symptoms. They're small, everyday changes that are easy to brush off. Things like feeling wiped out after lunch, stubborn belly fat that won't budge no matter what, that annoying brain fog where you can't focus, intense cravings for sweets that hit hard in the afternoon. These aren't just random annoyances or signs of aging. They are often early clues to a condition called insulin resistance. And right now, in the United States, this is incredibly common. Recent data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report shows that over 115 million American adults have prediabetes, a direct consequence of insulin resistance, and estimates suggest that around 30 to 40% of adults, especially younger ones aged 18-44, already show signs of insulin resistance itself, often without knowing. Millions are walking around with it silently. In this video, you're going to learn exactly what insulin resistance really is, step by step, why it's spreading so rapidly in our modern world, the early warning signs that doctors and most people often miss or dismiss, how it quietly damages your body over time, affecting far more than just blood sugar, and most importantly, proven ways to reverse it before it turns into full-blown diabetes. Stick around until the end, because here's the good news: insulin resistance is reversible in most cases. The body is incredibly responsive when you give it the right signals early enough. But timing matters. Acting now can change everything. Let's start at the beginning. What is insulin resistance? To really get this, we need to understand insulin first. Insulin is a hormone made by your pancreas. Think of it like a doorman or a key holder for your cells. When you eat food, especially anything with carbohydrates, your blood sugar or glucose rises. That's normal. It's energy from your meal. Insulin's job is to open the doors of your cells so glucose can get inside. Once inside, glucose gets used for immediate energy or stored for later. Simple, right? But in insulin resistance, your cells start ignoring the knock at the door. The key doesn't fit as well anymore. The cells resist insulin's signal. So what does your body do? It panics a little and pumps out more insulin to force the glucose in. At first, this works. Your blood sugar stays in the normal range on standard tests. But behind the scenes, insulin levels are sky high. This state of hyperinsulinemia, too much insulin, can last for years, even 10 to 15 years without anyone noticing. And all that extra insulin is causing silent damage. It's like revving an engine too hard for too long. It wears everything out eventually. Why is insulin resistance rising so fast? This isn't happening by accident. Several modern factors are fueling the epidemic. First, our food environment. Highly processed foods dominate shelves. Refined carbs like white bread, pasta, sugary cereals. Added sugars hidden in everything from sauces to yogurt. Sweetened drinks, sodas, energy drinks, even healthy juices. Ultra-processed snacks designed to be hyper-palatable. These cause massive repeated blood sugar spikes, forcing the pancreas to overwork. Second, we're moving less than ever. Our jobs, entertainment, transportation, everything is sedentary. Muscles are major users of glucose. When we sit all day, glucose lingers in the blood longer, stressing the system. Third, chronic stress is everywhere. Work pressure, finances, constant notifications. Stress hormones like cortisol raise blood sugar directly and make cells more resistant to insulin. Fourth, sleep is suffering. Even one night of poor sleep can slash insulin sensitivity by 20 to 30%. Chronic short sleep? It compounds the problem dramatically. Fifth, excess belly fat, especially visceral fat around organs. This fat isn't just storage, it's active tissue releasing inflammatory chemicals called cytokines. Those chemicals directly interfere with insulin signaling. Put all this together: processed food, no movement, stress, bad sleep, belly fat. And it's no wonder even young adults in their 20s and 30s are now showing insulin resistance. It's not genetics alone. Lifestyle is the biggest driver. Early signs most people ignore. Insulin resistance is sneaky because it rarely causes sharp pain. Instead, it creates patterns you might blame on getting older or being busy. Here are the most common early red flags. First, constant fatigue after meals. You finish lunch, and within 30 to 60 minutes, you're yawning, heavy-eyed, ready for a nap. This is the classic post-meal crash. Blood sugar spikes high, insulin overcompensates, then sugar crashes low. Your energy roller coasters. Many think it's just food coma, but it's a metabolic warning. Second, intense sugar or carb cravings. That afternoon slump where you crave chocolate, chips, or soda. It's not weak willpower. Unstable blood sugar signals the brain. Quick energy needed now. Third, stubborn belly fat. You might be slim elsewhere, but the midsection won't shrink. Visceral fat thrives in high insulin environments. Insulin tells the body to store fat, especially centrally. Fourth, darkened skin patches. Acanthosis nigricans. Velvety. Dark areas on the neck, armpits, knuckles, or groin. This is a direct sign of very high insulin levels. People often think it's dirt or friction, but it's hormonal. Fifth, brain fog and trouble concentrating. Forgetfulness, mental sluggishness, feeling off. The brain needs steady glucose, no spikes and crashes. High insulin also disrupts brain signaling over time. Sixth, slowly rising blood pressure. Insulin resistance causes sodium retention and stiffens arteries. Seventh, high triglycerides on blood work, often with low HDL, the good cholesterol. This lipid pattern screams insulin issues. Eighth, skin tags, small harmless growths. They cluster with high insulin. Ninth, increased hunger soon after eating. Even after a big meal, you're starving again quickly. 10th, tingling in hands or feet in more advanced cases. If you notice several of these, don't wait. It's time to investigate. What happens inside the body? Insulin resistance doesn't stay in one place. It spreads system-wide damage quietly. Over years, it raises risk for type 2 diabetes when pancreas tires out, heart disease and stroke from inflammation, high BP, bad lipids, fatty liver disease NAFLD, now affecting 1 in 3 adults. Polycystic ovary syndrome, in women hormonal chaos. Even Alzheimer's. Some call it type 3 diabetes because brain insulin resistance starves neurons, leading to plaques and tangles. High chronic insulin fuels whole body inflammation, which speeds aging and disease. It's a root cause condition linking so many modern health problems. How it turns into diabetes. Early on, the pancreas compensates heroically, churning out extra insulin. Blood sugar stays normalish, but the pancreas isn't infinite. Beta cells fatigue. Insulin output drops. Blood sugar creeps up, first into prediabetes range 100 to 125 fasting, then diabetes 126 plus. This progression can take 5 to 15 years. The tragedy? It's mostly preventable with awareness and action. How to test for insulin resistance. Standard fasting glucose, or A1C, often miss early stages. Better markers. Fasting insulin level high even if glucose normal. HOMA-IR score calculated from fasting glucose and insulin. Waist circumference, over 35 inches women, 40 inches men flags risk. Triglyceride to HDL ratio ideally under 2 higher suggests resistance. Sometimes an oral glucose tolerance test with insulin measurements. Ask your doctor for these. If symptoms match, can insulin resistance be reversed? Yes, and here's how. This is where hope lives. Your body wants to heal and responds fast to better inputs. Proven strategies. 1. Move more, especially strength training and walking. Resistance exercises weights, body weight build muscle that soaks up glucose. Walking 10 to 20 minutes after meals drops blood sugar spikes dramatically. Aim for 150 minutes moderate activity weekly, plus strength 2 to 3 times. 2. Added sugars and refined carbs sharply. Swap soda for water, sweets for berries. Focus on whole foods, veggies, proteins, healthy fats. 3. Dosed fiber intake. Veggies, beans, oats, chia. Fiber slows glucose absorption. 4. Prioritize sleep. 7 to 9 hours nightly. Consistent schedule. Even improving sleep reverses resistance quickly. 5. Manage stress. Breathing exercises, meditation, nature walks lower cortisol. 6. Lose modest weight if needed. 5 to 10% body weight loss example, 10-20 lbs. If 200 can restore sensitivity dramatically, focus on sustainable habits, not crash diets. 7. Add supportive foods. Cinnamon, vinegar and water before meals, green tea, nuts. 8. Consider time-restricted eating example, 10-12 hour eating window if it fits your life. Many see big improvements in weeks to months. Consistency beats perfection. Insulin resistance is silent. It builds slowly behind fatigue, cravings, belly fat, and fog. But it doesn't have to become diabetes. Awareness is your superpower. If this resonated, hit subscribe for more evidence-based health tips. Share with a friend or family member battling unexplained tiredness or weight struggles. Small changes today prevent big problems tomorrow. Take control early.